Hey guys, did you know that water can actually respond to people's thoughts and emotions? There's research done by a Japanese scientist, Dr. Masaru Emoto. A lot of publications have reported on it, and it involves a lot of his experiments where he has done tests involving intention. Someone may be thinking a positive thought and direct it toward water, and then he'll use water, also from the same source, the same water source, and direct a negative thought toward that water. And then he freezes the water. It produces a water crystal. But the water crystal manifests differently in every single test subject. In the one that has manifested as a result of the positive thought, it may be beautiful, symmetrical. But the one that manifests as a result of the negative thought, it appears kind of distorted and just not pleasing to the eye. He did various tests. He got people to pray toward the water. He got people to pray toward water with positive intentions. Look at this, 500 people from across Japan. They sent their energies of love to Tokyo's tap water supply. And they're all doing this remotely, they're not on site. Dr. Emoto's team has collected the water from Tokyo's tap water. And before the prayer, this is what the photograph looks like. It's distorted, it looks like nothing in particular. Now after the prayer of 500 people's input, it looks like that. Now that looks beautiful. That's very telling. And look at the one next to it on the left. Fujiwara Dam in Japan, a Buddhist monk has offered a prayer, and before the prayer, it looks like that. It looks like, I don't know, like something that's just fallen onto your windscreen. Now look at this. This is the result of the prayer. Even the color's different. I don't know, I can't explain the color difference again, but that looks beautiful. That looks like a work of art. And look at some of these other ones. Like, they're not all terrible before the prayer, but you can't count the 6 arms before. It just looks like that. This is the tap water from a primary school somewhere in Japan. But after the prayer, it significantly improves its structure, and again, it looks pretty. So these are all various experiments he's done. These aren't standalone experiments. There's a lot he's done. He also experimented with saying words out loud. People say words toward the water like, I love you, or something kind, or he'd get people to say negative words like, I hate you. And all these words produce different patterns in the water crystals once they are frozen. Words, this is one of my favorite areas because it really tells us the kind of words we have, they have an impact. Look at all of these. Honesty, for example. Just the word honesty produces that. There's different colors here. And look at this one. Love of husband and wife. Let's take a closer look. So this is interesting because it's a little different from a lot of the other water crystals that I've seen, because this is one photograph, but it shows 2 formations here. Love of husband and wife. That's what this one is. Now, let's have a look at some more. Look at this. I can't do it versus I can do it. I can't do it looks like, oh, we've got the 3 sides here, but then it's incomplete. What's going on? I can't do it. This is very telling. Now look at the one next to it. I can do it. This is consummate. This is a perfect formation, and it is starkly different from its I can't do it neighbor here. Now let's keep going. These are Buddhist mantras. These are all very intricate patterns. The universe, that looks kind of mysterious. Mutual affection here, look at that. This reminds me of the one above with the love of husband and wife. Mutual affection comes up with 2 structures here. Now that's fascinating. So he experimented with mind intent, prayer, and he also experimented with the spoken word. Now, he also did experiments with music. He played classical compositions from Mozart, Beethoven, Tchaikovsky, and so on, and the patterns were all very beautiful, symmetrical again. He also played rock and roll and heavy metal to water, and the results of the water crystals being exposed to that kind of music, well, it wasn't so beautiful, like the test done with classical music. Now, I'm not saying listen to one type of music and not the other. I just find this research fascinating, so I'm sharing what I find. It seems that certain frequencies and vibrations may elicit either harmony or disharmony within water. I'd really like to do an episode on all the different emotions and their vibrations. I recall that altruistic, compassionate thoughts have a higher vibration. That's all this kind of territory. Now, science has recognized that the human body is composed of upwards of 70% water, or even more. Anyway, the majority of the human body is water. At least we can all agree on that. So if that is the case, then Dr. Emoto's experiments on water crystals are quite telling, and quite frankly, fairly important. Our thoughts, intentions, our words, positive and negative, can all affect water molecules. Now, there's a Japanese word, Hado. Dr. Emoto refers to Hado in his book, The Hidden Message in Water. Hado refers to vibrational energy or resonance. I've also seen it translated as wave or move. It can be understood as a subtle energy that exists in the universe. Kind intentions will bring about one kind of Hado, while unkind or selfish intentions bring about a corresponding kind of Hado. Dr. Emoto said, Hado creates words. Words are the vibrations of nature. Therefore, beautiful words create beautiful nature. Ugly words create ugly nature. This is the root of the universe. At least that's from his perspective as a researcher. You have to think about it from the human body's perspective. This is all definitely going to have an impact on the human body, on people's health. And so hopefully everyone, does care about their body and wants to look after their body. If what Dr. Emoto's experiments indicate is indeed the case, then music and our interactions with people, how we respond to things, is really going to have an impact on how we live, on how we treat each other. You'd hope so. But I think that's what education in this area could achieve somewhat. If the findings of this research were actually rolled out across educational systems, real positive changes to our society, to our relationships, to our very existence could come about. I talked about intention being sent from one person to another or to water, but if you think about it from a personal perspective, like your own thoughts, ones that you don't even express to other people, you just keep in your own head. You think they're in your own head and they don't really do much, but in fact, those thoughts are definitely having an impact, at least according to this research. A greater or lesser impact on your body, on your health, and that may become more evident over the long run. And this is a topic that can perhaps link to other areas like Chinese medicine, for example. They say anger affects the liver. Different emotions affect different organs. That's Chinese medicine. There are philosophers in history like Confucius who said, "You are what you think." The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said, "Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." Mahatma Gandhi said, "A man is but the product of his thoughts. What he thinks, he becomes." You get the point. Our thoughts are everything. Our thoughts shape reality. Thoughts are not merely a figment of your imagination. And Dr. Emoto's experiments bring this subject into the scientific spotlight. I definitely want to produce more content on other researchers who've corroborated this research, because Dr. Emoto definitely was not the only one. It's not just the experiments that Dr. Emoto did on water crystals that shows this phenomenon, that our thoughts and words have this impact on the water composition in our bodies. But different systems of medicine from history, Chinese and Ayurvedic medicine from India, as well as philosophers, this same issue is looked at in strikingly similar ways from various individuals from very different backgrounds. So I think it points to a truth, that our thoughts have a significant impact on our bodies and our health. So I guess that's what this video is about. The quality of your thoughts matter. What kind of thoughts you allow to run through your head on a daily basis matters. The words you choose to articulate matter. In a nutshell, just be good.